Welcome to Stop Clever and Listen. We are back with our first Diet Culture Dumpster Fire, which is our monthly Substack series where we sort through the internet's latest wellness chaos, body image trends, and diet culture moments so you don't have to.
Each month, we're picking 3 topics currently setting the internet on fire, and we're going to be asking what is evidence based, what is marketing, what is harmless, what maybe needs some more nuance, and what belongs just directly in the dumpster.
Yeah. So we will start each topic of our Diet Culture Dumpster Fire series with a little bit of background. We'll cover our fire starter.
This,
We'll have a little nuance corner, right? Maybe there are some elements of this trend we want to keep,
okay,
right? Where's the gray area?
do that.
We'll do a little reality check, talk about some political perspective, some evidence, and hit you with some stats or facts.
Love a good stat fact.
Yes. And then my favorite, we will give it a rating 1 through 5 flames.
I love it.
Right? What is our dumpster rating?
Yep.
And we might even keep something from the trash, right? So to go on with our nuance corner, is there anything we're going to take as a positive from this trend and run with it? And what are we going to toss?
Yeah. We're going to try really hard because I feel like some of these, I'm going to want to toss everything in the trash.
Yeah,
So,
5 flames.
We're going to work on a reframe.
I think that's good. It'll be good practice for us, too.
Exactly. Lovely.
Yes.
Okay. What's our first one here?
Our first one is peptides.
Peptides.
Yes. Before we get into peptides, how's your week?
Great question. My week is good. It feels like yesterday I thought it was Wednesday. Today I think it's Thursday. It is Tuesday. So it's okay. It's a busy week. I am going to Ohio to hang out with Bestie this weekend, which I'm really pumped for. So just seeing clients, doing podcast stuff, and I attempted to pack before I got here, and I will pack Thursday morning.
Yeah.
So,
unless there's like a deadline,
yeah, I'm like, it's as long as it's before I leave.
Yeah, it's now or not now. Right?
Exactly.
That's a not now.
Yeah.
thing.
And it's a not now. And here's the thing, it's always been a not now. So I don't know why I tried to do it early, but we're allowed to try new things and have them not work.
That's right.
Yeah.
Do you and Sarah have anything specific on the agenda besides chilling?
We are going to do a little bit of brand photos because we're staying at this place called the Mansion on Monument. It is this old mansion that actually her family used to own at one point, and then the current owners have turned it into like an Airbnb with a wine bar underneath. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. We stayed there before, and so we're trying to make it like an annual thing. So
Oh my God.
we're just hanging out. And if anybody is listening who lives in Dayton, Ohio, the bakery called Val's is the greatest. It's
What do they
so
have?
good. I mean, they have every kind of thing that you can imagine, like delicious pastries. They've even got some like really big ones, and they do different flavors of the month or like
Okay.
season. I had like it was like a peach raspberry croissant, and then they had like a blueberry. I don't know. So delicious. It's lovely.
You say croissant so well.
Croissant.
I really
Croissant.
am the whitest croissant.
I always say croissant, but I love a good one. And they use like European ingredients, so it's like extra laminated and flaky and just
art.
beautiful.
Sounds like art.
It's art. It's lovely.
Have you seen that guy on socials, Instagram, TikTok, who like has the filled, like they're very
Yes.
filled and like everything
Yes.
he's rolling out, like just
Beautiful.
looks so next level.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is like,
It's full. I
love to see it.
I love to see. I was gonna say I can get behind something that has like cream or filling in it, but it also I don't like if it's too much.
And where's the croissant? It's more like
Exactly.
just for my beauty, like
just to
like the inside of a wrap when you cut it in half. I'm like,
Mm.
wow.
It's lovely.
But yeah, food like texture wise, that might not be the best balance.
Yeah.
Mm.
If I could like dip in there. It's been
Yes. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing some pastry photos of whatever.
Yeah, not to worry. I would love to bring you some. I just do not know if it's going to work out timing wise for when I get back and when I will see you, because they can last a day or two, but I feel like I want you to have the fresh.
Right. Here's a 4-day-old, then I'll get a bad taste of valves in my mouth. We don't
Exactly.
need
Right.
that.
No,
We don't need
I
that.
want fresh valves.
Yes.
Yeah. How about you?
Amazing.
How was your week?
It's good. I also last night my husband tried to take the trash out. That's on Wednesday nights. So we are in the same
I
kind
love that
of
we're
like
having some work here. Yeah.
the week feels like it's in full swing and it's only Tuesday. So yeah, heavy like it's June. It's
Yeah.
officially June. So that's amazing. This weekend I am celebrating a friend's birthday and she just wants to stay in a hotel.
Oh my gosh.
And like
Love.
we're gonna get dinner before with some girlfriends, but just like lay low and hang out.
Just chill. I love
So I'm
that.
so lucky to be invited and get to feel like it's my birthday too.
Oh my gosh. Is it a lovely, like swanky fun hotel?
I think we're gonna do something downtown. Maybe JW. I can't even remember the other who she's deciding
Yeah.
between. But
downtown.
yeah. So hoping to bop around and just be girly girls. Yeah.
Love a girls' weekend. Love a good
Girls
bestie
weekend.
weekend.
Yes.
So lovely. So lovely.
Yeah. Excited.
Are we excited to talk about peptides?
I am a little excited.
I'm gonna let you dive in first because
Yeah.
I truly like this was on our list of things to talk about. I was like, what are peptides? I'm not so sure. I had to go down the social media rabbit hole
Mhm.
to learn what peptides are. And I obviously have feelings, but tell us yours first.
Man, well, I think that's a great big fat question mark on peptides because it's a very broad term,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I have put a lip balm on this morning and it's got peptide, the word peptides all over it. And that might be true, right? But
Sure.
what the heck are they?
What is it? Yeah.
I think there's been a lot of language that,
Mhm.
and maybe you can speak to this more of what you saw in your deep dive, but like longevity, youth extending,
That
um,
anti-age.
anti-age, yes, recovery is a big one, right? We hear about
Yes.
peptides for recovery,
Yep.
peptides for fat loss.
Of course.
Um,
Of course.
this very like just optimized, which is one of my least favorite
I hate
words
it
in wellness
so
culture
much.
because it's this idea of you are good, but you could be better.
Could be better.
You could
Like
optimize.
infinitely better.
Yeah.
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 So that's kind of the gist of like what I have seen. I know that's not really a definition of what they are, but
Do we have a
before we sorry.
I've got a plan here. You have got a plan. Girl. You go with it.
I want to know what crazy things you saw when you were on your Instagram deep dive.
I will say the biblical eating was a little bit more like, whoa. The peptides for me were like very similar to what you said. Like the anti-aging, the like use it for everything to the point where I'm like, but but that doesn't make sense. Like, why would I do a whole new thing to like it just didn't make sense. And so yeah, it felt very wellness culture-y, very a little bit like elitist.
Of course,
Like
these things aren't free.
if you have the money, like why would you not do that? Like I think Jennifer Aniston came up on one of them and is like, this is her secret to looking so gorgeous at whatever her age is. And so yeah, it just felt like, and I think it's because we know so much about diet culture now, it felt like it's just repackaged.
Yeah.
Like trying to be shinier, trying to be like, oh, it's a brand new name. Let's do this now.
Yes. Was there anything specific you saw, or what did it continue to be very broad and kind of vague?
I want to say broad and vague. Like I even went on some websites to be like, okay, what is this?
Yeah.
And it's like some people can do peptide therapy, but then they don't. And then you can do this and you can like, it just didn't make sense. Let me see. This person is like, if you choose one peptide, you should do this and like get all of her things. Of course, Dr. Jessica and the sassy dietitian are like, this is stupid. Not this is stupid, but essentially they were like, what are we doing here? Yeah, I can't find the rest of my posts on it. I must not have got too many out there or found too many on the peptides piece, but it was confusing.
I think that's the overall like vibe that I have of them.
Yeah.
And when something's confusing to us, right, like
Right.
in the field of food and nutrition and wellness and health, I can't imagine how that kind of lands to the general public that is being told you need this for optimized health.
Exactly.
So I think it's also very funny that they're not very specific in their language online because it could help with lots of things.
Yeah.
It could be the secret thing.
The cure all, the end, take this and everything.
Yes, which I think, of course, we can maybe acknowledge that there's probably a crossover with how welcoming our culture has been to injectables, right? Which is such a funny irony to where we've really seen like vaccine culture go,
Right.
and how it's just like we don't know what's in that, and that hasn't been studied. But we're like, oh well, I'll do my research on this diabetes drug so it confirms the bias that I can feel comfortable taking.
Correct. And I'll spend all these thousands of dollars on peptides, which are maybe not even FDA approved. Maybe we don't even really know what's actually in it, but it's at a wellness clinic, and so it must be fine. So,
and then you get the on top of that, it's like, well, look at all the bad things the FDA has approved. So does this even really make like the rabbit holes and the spins can just continue and continue because that's marketing, baby, and
it is, and it feels like disorienting to the point where it's like, I'm too confused. I'm not exactly sure, but these people look like it's working really well for them. And I would prefer to be in that aesthetic where I feel like I want to fit into that or be like that. So I'll just take it.
Totally.
Right? Like,
yeah. So I know you asked, what the heck even are they? And I think another kind of vague explanation, because peptides are really just, they're not one thing. It's a chain of amino acids. It's really like what we can break it down to on a scientific level, which makes it a huge umbrella category. of what could really fall under that. Some medically established uses exist and have probably existed for a long time, and we're not calling them optimized peptides, right?
Yep. Yep.
So a lot of the wellness uses that we see are really a lot of anecdotal cases, and we don't have a ton of research to show that this specific peptide helps with this specific ailment
Exactly.
because it's such a broad category.
Yeah. 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 It feels like there's exciting things about it. So let's take it. Very similar to the GLP-1s where it's like we don't have a lot of long-term studies on the actual effects, but people are like, this is the miracle drug.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah. And I think that has allowed more for a foot in the door for peptides to just be another injectable that would be had positive benefits, right? And we don't quite know if that's the case. I know that the FDA has had some increased scrutiny on compounded formulas similar to GLP-1s, right? Like
okay. Yeah.
there's been a little bit of I think at first that was such probably still is unregulated way to receive that. And so I don't think that access has stopped, but I do think there's a little bit more, I don't know if informed consent is the right word, or just information out there that like you kind of don't know what you might be getting in these compounded formulas.
Yeah.
Especially when marketing is so powerful and you can say, hey, we've added these peptides and B12 and this, and it's like, do we even know if you can mix that with semaglutide? Like,
yeah.
So
do you even need that?
Do you even need that? Like, yeah. And I guess the similarity in wellness culture that exists that I think of when it comes to peptides is like IV fluids and IV bars.
Yep.
Because it feels similarly formulated.
Very much so.
And like you can just list all of these things that you'd be getting, and how could that be bad for my body?
Right.
It must be good.
Yes. I think that's the thing, like it must be. Like if these medical spas or these different places that look really nice and all of this stuff, like if they say it's fine, that's probably great.
Yeah. And I think
my research, that's confusing.
Right. I get the research is confusing. And almost I'm gonna maybe, I don't know, devil's advocate, but like feels more medically sound if it is an injectable.
Yeah.
Like that makes it medicine, and that makes it allowed.
Yeah.
Which, oh my God, again, the irony of where we've come and where we're headed. Kind of crazy.
It's I hadn't thought of that, like with the vaccine piece and then with this, like how it's
some cognitive dissonance.
Very much so. That's a great, lovely therapeutic term.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah. But I think that just goes back to like what as a society we will like weight loss, even though we talk about all these other things, you know, that we might be using this for or trying to get, like it doesn't really matter. We've decided weight loss is the thing that we will kind of prioritize over any vaccine questions, over any science really, or any long-term things. And that's not fault of individuals. You know, it's been promised in our medical culture as well.
Yeah, it has. And really is heavily, what's the word I'm looking for? Feeds really well into capitalism. Of like,
tell me more.
We've got to buy all of the things. If there's, you know, if we can optimize someone's health and they can pay us money for it, let's just do it, even if they might not need it, even if it's probably not necessary, even if they might not have the financial resources to do it. It just feels like that. And I don't know what the stats are these days with the like amount of money the wellness industry brings in, like at least in the billions, trillions.
Yeah, like $5 trillion.
I
think compared to pharmaceutical, which was in the billions. Right?
Yeah. Like that's a lot of money.
But they have our best interests.
Always.
Don't they? Right?
I mean, at this point, they're willing to also, I mean, we talk about diet culture being crafty. Like this is a perfect example of how certain things get pushed and then maybe they go away for a minute, but then they come back with a brand new spin and people are like, oh my God, amazing. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like that's it. That's diet culture. That's what it does, is that it just reinvents itself so that people keep buying more and more and more and more.
Yeah. The marketing is wild. That's a great connection. And let's talk about costs. Like what do some of these costs? Like I've seen $150 to $200 for some, up to like $5,000.
$5,000
for the jab.
For the jab.
Good homies.
So like, here's the thing. Never in this life would I willingly be like, yes, please give me a shot.
Yeah.
No. And then to spend $5,000 to do that like regularly for something I may or probably don't even need or could get in a different way.
Yeah. Well, it's very like putting yourself in, you're your own doctor almost. Like,
oh yeah.
And it kind of reminds me of Hims and Hers and Row, and where you're kind of like, we have these medicines. Do you need these medicines?
Right.
You should ask our doctor that sells these medicines.
Right.
You need these medicines. And it's like, that's not really an original, not to like, shade how we kind of absorb and get tricked, but like that was presented to you on a platter. And
Yes, it was.
these are very similar to where it's like,
Yeah.
do you need this? Do you have a medical ailment that, would be fixed with this peptide?
Right.
And do you even have a provider that is driving you this way, or you just kind of have this buffet of options where you get to pick and choose what you think you need based on
Yes.
whatever the
What
video
some
is?
random person tells you. Because I think that's the other thing too. Are people working with their medical providers on this? Number one, do people even have a medical provider that they trust to help them with something like this? It just,
There's a lot.
there's a
Yeah.
lot. There's a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah, I even see an aspect where there's some doubt, right, with the medical field. And I know that we share some of that doubt for certain reasons. However, I've seen it kind of on the other side of things of like, I'm going to do my own research.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes.
And so like, if you didn't like trust your doctor, this is your way around.
This is your way
like,
to do the
I get to be my own doctor,
Yeah.
pick what's right for me. And like,
Totally.
it might even feel like this is holistic wellness. And that's Eastern or Western medicine. It's like,
Yeah.
what? Why that makes sense? Make it make sense. Just because it doesn't have a drug name and it doesn't mean it's like a natural.
Exactly.
What is natural?
Exactly. I know.
That could
That's
be a
the
whole
whole
other
thing, right?
episode.
With the whole thing. Yeah. And the other thing too is what it gives me is like personal responsibility
Oh,
piece of
yeah.
like you should be able to educate yourself enough and have enough funding, like money and resources to be able to do this to optimize your health, to not age, to to like lose weight, all of that. And like there are a lot of other pressing things going on in our world right now. And a lot of people don't have access to quality food, to quality healthcare and things like that. And yet this is being prioritized over that.
Mm-hmm. Like the baseline, the foundation is like optional. Right? But these little cherries on top are like, you must have them.
Yes. Yes. It's the other thing. I am a huge fan of the Hunger Games series. Everything we're talking about today, but particularly this and the Tone Armed, it's giving me like we are in pre-Hunger Games series times right now. Like
no pun intended on the plan. But yeah.
Oh, it's just it feels a little bit bonkers. But
yeah, tell me more about that crossover.
I feel like in the Hunger Games series, the capital is the elite. They are transforming their body, doing different things to their body. There's a liquid that they have that makes people purge so that they can eat more, right? Like it's just this like what's the word I'm looking for?
Out of touch?
Out of touch, elitist, right? And like it feels like with this stuff in particular, like let's start injecting ourselves with different things. Like we already have plastic surgery. We already have all like GLP-1s are going to make the food noise go away. So you're not going to want to eat. Like it feels like we're pre there, right? Like in some years, it could be that now GLP-1s are the name. I don't even remember what the name is of the drink that you can have, right? Like it'll be that. And instead of surgical, like instead of injecting peptides, we're like making ourselves look like a feline, like tiger size, right? Like it just, and then with the toned arms, which we're going to come in with in a little bit here, but it's like,
sci-fi.
what are we doing? What's going on right now in our world?
What's going on?
I just cannot.
Do you watch SNL?
I not as much as you do, but I hopefully know enough to know the reference that you're gonna.
There's a Jeremy Coley, and he's a new cast member, but he does a Tucker Carlson bit, and his line is he'll say something like, "That's the goal now. That's the like his imitation's perfect." But one of the signature lines is, "What are we doing? What's going on?" And I like to say that after everything, because what are we doing and what's going on? But yeah, I did not even think of like almost like the futuristic, creepy sci-fi of it all. Like we are robots at that point. Like we just pop for this and jack for this and like
the thing. And I mean, we've got AI, like we've got all of these things that it's just like it's interesting to be a person that enjoys like sci-fi and dystopian movies and literature and like all of that, and to be like, hold up, we're like not that far off as I thought we were.
Is this fucking play about us? Right. What are we doing?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because again, we didn't even touch on what else is happening in the Hunger Games, which is like,
right,
terrible dystopian famine and struggle and
totalitarian.
yeah.
It's just,
And so, there are people struggling, like the gap just keeps getting bigger.
keeps getting bigger.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm waiting for Suzanne Collins to release another prequel that is like set before, if anybody knows, sorry, set before like the dark days before all of the things happen. And it's like, it's just this world.
It's just today. Yeah.
Right? Oh my gosh.
Scary.
So much to go off of.
Yes.
So yeah.
Man. So is there any part of peptides in our nuance corner, anything that like would not automatically go in our dumpster?
I mean, I think if there's like legitimate medical use for it, right? We are doing our research. We're have some curiosity in there. Maybe there's certain things, and I didn't do enough. I didn't do enough research here to figure it out. But maybe there are certain things that you are struggling with that peptides could actually help with. And so maybe instead of just clicking the button to get it, it can be we're researching a little bit.
Or our
We're becoming more
doctors.
informed.
Yeah.
Doctors helping us out
Informed
with it.
consent. Like what?
Yes.
And what's the goal of this? What do you expect to get out of
Yes.
this? And do we know that this thing helps with this? Like,
Right. Exactly.
can you afford this 2 months? Is this like a
Right.
yeah, lots of questions to ask. Okay.
Yeah. So I think that would be it, is like, I'm willing to hold space for that. There can be positives. I did not find them in my research, but I hope that as people decide whether or not they want to use them, there's some research done on informed consent and all of that. So
I would say biggest from my research is that a lot of the peptides that we're seeing are not tested. Like they're tested in rats, right? Like animal studies.
not in any human studies.
So, which I know there's lots of things that we kind of take from rat studies and kind of try and say that they are going to be similar in humans. But there's a lot that we know that that is not the case. So again, I think just the jury's still out.
Still out on it. I agree.
But yeah, so putting in the dumpster, the superiority, elitism, right?
Yep.
And like optimization culture. I'm putting that in the dumpster.
I love that. What comes to mind every time we say optimization is Chris Traeger from Parks and Rec. The optimization can become such a slippery slope into disordered eating disorder. Like it can be
Chris Traeger, walking orthorexic human, right? Like
truly. So yeah, let's throw that in the dumpster
right there.
For sure.
If you had to rate this one out of 5 flames,
I'm gonna give this one a 4.
Okay.
Even though I still want to do some research. What I know right now, not so great.
Right.
Not so great.
Or like benefit risk.
Yeah. I'm not seeing it. What about you?
I like that.
4.
I'm gonna say 4. Yeah, 3.5, 4. I think, and I guess it's probably in the context of other things we're talking about. So yeah, if we're talking the money, the pressure, how it affects our eating disorder clients, yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4.
Give it a 4.
Yeah, love it. Feels good.
Okay. Amazing. We have biblical eating up next. And I know a handful of people who are ready for this one.
Yeah.
I'm ready for this
We
one.
have some interest for sure.
Yes.
Before we jump into this conversation, we want to acknowledge that many people find tremendous meaning and comfort and community and identity and connection through their faith traditions. And sometimes that includes how they approach food. But the goal here is not to criticize anyone's spiritual beliefs, anyone's religion, or cultural food practices. What we are interested in doing is exploring where wellness culture sometimes overlaps with religious language and how certain messages, regardless of where they originate, can impact people who are vulnerable to disordered eating and eating disorders. And I think that goes to with perfectionism or food guilt. And as clinicians, I think that's the lens that we want to bring to this conversation.
Yeah. I think that makes so much sense. I'll also add to that, like, we can recognize people can eat whole foods and maybe not drink alcohol or limit caffeine or have different food practices that are really informed by their religious practices and beliefs without it being disordered. Right. And so these type of choices don't automatically mean that it's diet culture or disordered eating, but we are really trying to examine what happens when those choices become tied to morality, to purity, to fear, to worthiness and an identity that can create distress and rigidity and really push people over into that disordered eating disorder space. So yeah. Okay.
Whew, this was quite the shocking, like, deep dive, I would say, in terms of content.
Very shocking.
What'd you see?
I saw a lot of things. A how to eat biblically, which is essentially eating in the way God intended, or eating to like how people did in the Bible, like biblically, right? Which, like, on the surface, okay, interesting. let me hear more. But then we got into posts where people were picking out foods that were listed in the Bible. And based on the number of times they were listed in the Bible, that meant that they were part of this biblical eating. For example, sourdough bread is apparently referenced 230 times in the Bible, raw milk 4 times, goat 136 times, among other things. And so that's where I start to be like, that feels like diet culture. That feels like rules and rigidity and morality tied to food. And then we got into like no seed oils and eating like more ancient diet or eating like more naturally or unprocessed foods, like eating foods that are pure, which again further takes us down into the diet culture disorder eating diet rabbit hole.
The clean, the good, the pure.
If you eat the way that God intended, you're good. If you look back over your food choices today, would God be proud of, like, would you be proud or would you be convicted?
Whew, what?
I saw that and I said, oh my.
And it's not, would you be proud? It's, would God be proud?
The quote is, if God saw everything you ate today, would you be proud or convicted as someone is eating? And the individual that I'm referencing is, there was a recent New York Times article on biblical eating, and this individual she was one of the first people that popped up and offers like coaching and different things. I think she even says on there, like, I'm not a nutritionist, like dietitian or anything like that, but offers coaching at a pretty hefty price tag to help people do this. Right. And so to see a thin white woman eating a fruit with this message on it, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
It's loaded and layered and feels like a good sneaky way of really, like, of course, disordered eating, also eating disorder. Like,
Yeah.
what does this part think about you? And how is this, like, I know that sometimes externalizing parts is very helpful. And this feels like such a spin on that, because how do we know what God's thinking?
How do we
right?
know?
Like,
how do we know? And like I think in this anti-diet space, we talk so much about morality being disconnected from the food that we eat.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it really feels like with biblical eating, they are connected. They are connected. And I didn't necessarily see something that said this, but for me, this is where my mind goes, is if I do not eat in the way God intended, am I good? Does that mean do I need to make up for that in some way? What happens if maybe I don't like a food, or a food that I'm supposed to eat that is a biblical food doesn't sit well with my body? Does that mean my body is bad or wrong because it can't handle this food that God created?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the other thing that comes up with this too is that if the argument is being made that we should eat a food because it's in the Bible and God made it, how are we also not using that to be like, God created people who figured out how to make processed foods, who figured out how to make machines to make processed foods, and like God also is included in that. Like it feels like we're picking and choosing again.
Of course. I'm not even going to take you back a little. Let's not forget Jesus turned water into wine.
Hello.
And I think
wine is listed. It said on one of these posts, wine is listed like 200 something. Feels like that's okay.
It feels like that's okay. But again, like who is deciding this?
Right.
I wanted to do a quick check of like, what are some surprising things, like, right, like under Mosaic law, right? Like Israelites instructed not to eat pork and shellfish and certain birds and insects. And so if someone, if we're taking this literally, if we want to eat exactly as the Bible intended, suddenly bacon, pulled pork and shrimp cocktail and lobster balls, like that becomes problematic.
Right.
At the same time, the Bible is surprisingly pro wine, pro feasting. Let's talk about feasting in the Bible, because like how, to me, this eating as God intended feels like it has a big layer of restriction attached to it, whether that's certain foods or staying small or not full or gluttonous, right? Like thinking about gluttony is being one of the 7 deadly sins, and also feasting. How does one interpret that, right?
It doesn't, because I think when we do the cherry picking, it's like feasting together, that would not fit in with gluttony. But then it's like, that's even part of this biblical eating, is to feast and to eat with people together in community.
Yeah.
And so like it's giving confusing. It's giving like, in what context, what do you mean? Which then brings me to that eating disorder piece of like, it's the black and whiteness of it.
Oh, totally.
Right? Either I'm a glutton or I'm going to feast, one or the other, which is right. And then we're caught in that trap and in that cycle of like, well, if I do this, then I'm bad. Like it's,
you're on or you're off.
Yeah.
Biblical eating. Yeah. And then I wonder, for someone is maybe strong in their faith, how does that end up overlapping in a way that was never intended and is probably not helpful in your spiritual relationship?
Correct.
To tie food into that feels very sticky.
Very, very sticky. And I think the thing too that sticks out to me most is that, like, because we already exist in diet culture, to bring in something like biblical eating with the rules and rigidity that it has, like, it will be co-opted into diet culture thinking.
Yeah.
Like, it will be.
That's what we already see on socials.
We can't separate it.
Yeah.
Right. And so, like, because it's giving this it's giving again this elitist of, like, well, diet culture is not good, but biblical eating is fine.
Right.
Even though we could literally be like, that's the same, that's the same, that's the same.
Yeah. And I think that's a crafty spin, because religion is a sticky place, and it can feel like, oh, well, they can't touch this because I can use this as like I can defend religion on behalf of the eating piece. So yeah, it's
100%.
very crafty.
It's very crafty. The other post that I just pulled up is one talking about, like, foods you can and can't eat.
I want to know, if sourdough was mentioned 4 times, how many times was bread mentioned?
Bread is not on the list here of the things that I have. We have sourdough, pomegranate, olive oil, lambs, cows, goats, raw honey, wine, figs, and fish was on some of these posts that I found. And let's see. We have clean and unclean land animals, clean and unclean birds, clean and unclean sea life. I don't know. That sounds a little bit like clean eating to me.
Yeah.
Clean foods, unclean foods.
Clean person, like, very, again, the purity piece comes in. I just want to mention, the Bible says bread 361 times, but we're going with sourdough 4 times. And so
sourdough 200.
Sourdough 200. Okay.
It's the raw milk.
Raw milk is 4 times. I'm sorry. Okay. So yeah, it sounds like 361 is more than 200, is it not? So bread.
So it feels like bread should be in there.
Bread. Just bread.
Just bread. Just regular bread.
Yeah, but yeah, it's very pick and choose.
It's very pick and choose. The post that and again, I feel like I'm potentially bashing on this person. It's more just like, this does not make sense to me. This person is eating a wedge of Parmesan cheese and calling it a Bible-approved protein bar.
I just talked about Parmesan as protein bars with a client, actually. Yeah. And oh my God.
Here's the thing. I love a good Parmesan. I can say for certain that I am probably not going to be chomping down on a hunk of Parmesan when I want a protein bar. Like, Parmesan cheese is not the same as a protein. Like, it's not the same.
Also, does God want us to be frugal, or does he want us to spend $8 on a block of parm?
On a block of parm.
With, again, like, dietitian, like, okay, like, no food's bad or good, but, like, sodium wise, probably not the best bang for your buck if you're looking for a protein bar.
Right. There are other options that might work or feel a little bit better or be more sustainable or delicious and satisfying than a hunk of Parmesan cheese. Like, if you want it, listeners out there, if you're like, I'm chomping on a hunk of Parmesan cheese right now,
then that's a hunk of Parmesan cheese. It ain't a protein bar.
I love it. It's not a protein bar. It's not a protein bar.
And isn't it, cheese has to go through, like, a process of being made and aged, and, like, so I know you mentioned, right, like, it's kind of the idea of, like I asked for help and God never came. And it's like, I sent you a boat. I sent you all these things. And how do we decide what advancements in modern technology are, like, Jesus approved?
Right. Because that's the other thing. The Bible was written, a couple thousand years ago? Like, life has changed and our bodies have also changed and adapted as well. And like, this gives me similar vibes of, like, the paleo diet. Well, we need to eat how we ate, our ancestors ate. Well, like, it's a literal different time.
Yeah.
Like, it's centuries
later. Hunting and gathering.
Right.
And we also are living past 30, thank God.
Right. And, like, we can bring in more whole foods and things like that, but that does not mean that we cannot, one, don't need to just ignore science.
Yeah.
And 2, that there can't be a space for all foods as well.
And that's what I don't love about the social media content that I've seen, because it's not, here's how to add more God intended foods into your life and add more whole foods. No, it all boils down to, like, the text overlay. Are you convicted?
Are you convicted?
Straight up morality, good and bad, purity, like, right off the bat.
Right off the bat. Which I feel like creates a ton of shame.
Oh, yeah.
And if somebody is already, 1, living in diet culture, but 2, already kind of primed or in that disordered eating space.
It's like the perfect cult. Like, that's the wrong word. But, like, it's like, it's the perfect vulnerable person that's going to really latch onto that messaging, and
Correct.
eating disorder or disordered eating is going to run with that.
Yeah, 100%. And to tag team onto that is moral scrupulosity, OCD. There is a type of OCD that is tied to like scrupulosity, like with religion, right?
Yeah,
like, is God going to be mad at me? Like
yes.
that type of thing. And so we know that 18-ish% at least of people with eating disorders also have OCD. And so to have both of those co-occurring conditions, and then to have something like biblical eating that really reinforces the shame, particularly around if God is happy with you or not based on your food choices, like,
Fuel to the dumpster fire.
my God,
Oh my
a
gosh, yeah, I didn't
lot
even
of
think
just
about
like
that.
spraying it all over the place, that fuel.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah. Hopefully I have an answer.
Where do you think apples fall? Are you supposed to eat the apple or are we not? What are you
That
doing?
is literally so great when it comes to the picking of the things, right? As we're in here, is like, yeah, where does it fall? So that's a question for you out there who's listening to us. If you have any thoughts on this, please let us know, because we can talk about this for a long
time. Anything with our nuance corner, welcome to the nuance corner, that we are going to keep, maybe that is maybe a silver lining of what biblical eating could help people.
Sure. I feel like a couple pieces that maybe we didn't fully mention. Again, that communal eating together in community. We love it. We love community. We know healing happens in community, eating food in community. Yes, love that. There's also part of it too is just like slowing down and connecting to food, I think, to God, to other things, right? And so this idea of like taking things a little bit slower, being more intentional in connection and things like that, I think I keep those.
Amazing. I think
keep those.
Yeah, you covered all the good things that I would have kept.
Okay.
I think we know what we're dumping, right? Morality, good and bad, as it relates to food or yourself.
Yes.
This purity language and essentially like spiritualized restriction.
Oh, that's a beautiful.
Thank you. That's what I'm dumping right in the dumpster.
I love that. I love that so much. What are you rating this one?
I'm going to give this one a 5. I think just because of
a big old high five.
Big old high five.
Yeah.
I think because of our population, I don't see someone that is struggling with their body or dieting or rules, absorbing or watching one of these, consuming is the word I'm looking for, consuming this content and being able to take the positives away from it. Like maybe we can nuance out of it.
Yes.
I think it is it's a list of rules. It's easy to follow rules.
Yeah.
It's easy to follow a blueprint. And so I think that here is a blueprint of how to restrict and how to shame yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. I think you said it perfectly. Yeah.
You give it a 5?
I give this a 5. I mean, like an overflowing 5. Like it's overflowing out of the dumpster because it's so fiery.
We gotta take out the trash.
Yes.
It's not Wednesday yet this week.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Right. Okay. We're going to get into our third and final topic, which is a big toned arms.
Big quotations.
Big air quotations. If you're listening, we are putting big quotes around toned arms because for people who might be like, what are you talking about? We are talking about a specific incident it's the Cannes Film Festival, I think.
Yep.
And the specific celebrity featured is Miss Demi Moore.
Yep.
Who apparently learned nothing from the substance. I don't know if that quite fits because again, anytime we bring up a celebrity like this, I'm not blaming the celebrity for being susceptible to diet culture and existing where we'd be talking about our arms no matter what size they look because that is celebrity culture.
Yes. So and she's a human, like all of us, right?
Yes. Well, except when she's not in the substance.
That's what I think. I have not seen that because you know how I feel about like scary movie thingies like that. So I have not, but
you would not have liked. Have you seen like kind of the conversations around like horror movies right now? Like they're big, they're hot.
Not really. No.
Obsession is one that I saw over the weekend, a matinee, and it's like this guy breaks a wish and he wishes for this girl to be like love me more than anyone in the world. And it is horrific.
That takes the backfires, I assume.
So scary. Yeah. But that made me think of, just it's like a little bit of like body horror, which is similar to like the substance. The substance is much more body horror. Right? It's like two shifting people, but I don't know if I would recommend either for you if you don't like it.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'll hear about it from you.
Yes. I think there are very good like underlying themes of like like discoids in it, eating shrimp and just like making a mess, and like how he's the boss and like women have to, be in this perfect box. And
Of course. So
one small theme, but yeah, some good underlying themes. So I remember when we were texting about topics, and I was like, "Is tone arms great? Are you as chronically online? Are we seeing this?" And you'd seen
I
it.
had been like, yes, I was going to put it as a topic potentially, but then I was like, is that enough? But yeah.
Yeah, so we're all seeing the same stuff.
Yep.
And I think the headline was like, Demi Moore shows up with toned arms to Cannes Film Festival. And then she's looking pretty emaciated.
Pretty emaciated. Emaciated.
Yeah. So where do we even go from here?
It's a great one. I think there were some who were like, yes, they stole the show. They looked great. I was much more surprised that there were, at least that I saw, a lot of people online who were being like, that is not toned. That is not okay. Again, like speaking to this trend, again, women's body's a trend again, of being so thin. Similar to how we talked about body image backlash back in December with our Wicked Girlies. Yeah.
I'm with you though. I was like pleasantly surprised that this was the reaction.
Yeah.
Because there are so many similarly sized or thin women that we only champion and only let kind of fall through the cracks.
Yes.
And so this was refreshing. As horrific, like a refreshing silver lining of it to see that the discourse was there.
Yeah. Because I think if we think too about like heroin chic and all of these different body trends, and particularly with where celebrity bodies, I guess, have been going lately, the shift is towards emaciation, extreme thinness. And so to hear people be like, actually, no, is quite refreshing.
Yeah, I agree.
It's quite refreshing. I mean, it sucks that we're going in this way, but it's also refreshing that there's a lot of people who are like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
I
thought that was positive for sure.
Yeah. So as a current fitness professional, former one here, what does toned even mean?
That is a fabulous question. Fabulous question. It is not a physiological term, right? I didn't even look up like a definition, but usually when we talk about toned in the culture that we live in today, sometimes that is assumed that there's going to be visible muscle definition.
Yeah.
I would say that if I had to like define it, that's what I would say.
Sure.
However, we are now seeing that it's also maybe like lower body fat, right? Are you familiar with the word snatched?
Yes.
Okay, right? Like snatched waist and snatched. What does that even mean?
Right.
Like smaller than you were?
Right.
Or tighter belt? Like literally
tight? Yeah, tight and tiny.
And so I kind of think of it similar to that because it is such an ambiguous word and there's really no way that we're defining it as a masses that say like this person is toned and this is not.
Right.
But we've seen that shift to being smaller and smaller. So it's like, what if you're very, very thin? I can see lots of maybe processes and bones, but you've been strength training. So we can see a little pop of that bicep. Right. Does that make it okay?
Right.
And I'm glad that we were like, no.
Thank God.
We actually talked about this on a movement series episode, but this kind of idea of like strong, not skinny. And it's like, A+ love the message. Yes. And yet we know that sometimes it can be common for, I think, just to find movement that feels empowering in eating disorder recovery. And sometimes that can take a slippery turn. And that might become, over exercising or being really obsessed with aesthetics, or it's just easy for that to kind of shift.
Oh, yeah.
And so when we see this idea of strong, not skinny, but we're still platforming and championing very thin women that also happen to be lifting weights, it doesn't really expand our view of what strong, not skinny could look like.
100%.
Because we are using
100%.
thin women to promote that message, which the thin woman is Hillary Duff, and I love her to death. But yeah, it just kind of narrows that view. It really does. This is strong and this is skinny.
Yes.
And it's like, well, is there anything outside there?
Right. Yeah. And like when we do that too, we continue to exclude disabled bodies and larger bodies.
Yeah.
I saw a post today. She talks a lot about eating disorder stuff and body image, but the video is essentially like pictures without faces of these very, very thin Hollywood women that we're seeing right now. And then it cut to the Sports Illustrated swimsuit, like runway. That's what I'm looking for. Like runway show. And is her name Iona? Ilona? I never saw.
Are you gonna Adele Dazeem this girl?
Probably.
Because I did that on the phone with a client last week. No. Ilana Mayer.
Who I love her.
Yes.
But essentially the post was saying like when we glorify all of these women who are in very thin bodies, like we don't leave space for people in other bodies, and like we really should also be championing these women as well.
Yeah.
In other body sizes and shapes and abilities and things like that. And so yeah, I feel like it just continues to perpetuate fat phobia and women's stigma
Absolutely.
as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I don't know if it was a Sports Illustrated walk or whatever, but did you see our girl Layla and Miranda?
wise, I did not see fresh photos. I saw Miranda a week or two ago in a picture, and I said, "Oh,
Yes, our girls are on the runway.
okay."
And I think Miranda is a great example of like girly is if here we can look at some pictures. I can see a message of strong, not skinny. Right. And we are strong and very skinny.
Yeah, we are.
Right. Like, and so I think that, and this is not like her message, her platform or anything, but I know that she is big into lifting and moving her body. And, you know, we can't know if someone is healthy by looking at them. But I think that's a good kind of just another example, I guess, of something that we see and we're told like this is the aesthetic, this is the healthy, really. We talk about it in health, right? Like if you have some muscle, you
100%.
must be a healthier version.
Definitely.
And also this is kind of just a little bit less emaciated version of toned arms.
Right. And the thing about the toned arms too is that like I share a little tiny personal anecdote here that at one point in my past when I was into fitness and I was also into disordered eating, I know the picture. There was a picture of me and my arm was out and I was like, I'm so strong, all that, like, because I was just starting to work out and on all of that. And I look at it now and I'm like, baby girl child. We were not okay. We were not okay. And so my view of it has changed, but just the fact that my muscles were visible, I was like, this is great. My body is looking like it's supposed to look, or it's like looking toned, or it's looking all of the things. And so, yeah, when we're constantly seeing that's what we're supposed to be, that's what we're striving for.
Yeah.
Because that's the way this culture is set up. I mean, I'll say for probably men as well. Like I know we're going to be talking more about men and looks maxing and things like that, but that's the way that women have been conditioned. Is that our bodies, whatever the celebrity, whatever is going on, that's what we have to look like to fit into all of that.
Or that's what there has to be fat loss for you to prove that we have strength.
Correct.
And that like I'm sure our muscles were there with any other skin and adipose tissue over us, but we don't really acknowledge it until we see it, which really doesn't mean that it wasn't there before.
Correct. It's so true. These aesthetic goals. Yeah. The other thing that comes up with this too, and I know I'm going further down a rabbit hole, is like if toned arms is what we're striving for, that is very likely going to require restricting what you're eating.
You mean I can't spot train my arms?
Well, maybe we could just like do that, I think people love that. We're probably going to have to restrict food, which means then if we continue to do that, our brain function is not going to be optimal, which means like we're not going to be able to critically think and say like, maybe this isn't okay.
Right.
And we become smaller and smaller and smaller instead of being able to live in a space where we take up physical space and space in our body and space with our work, like all of that too.
Yeah.
So it just.
Yeah. It's a great reminder of like, this is what we've been told a healthy body looks like. Now, what would you have to do to get there? Right. Would that mean that this is a healthy body for you?
Right.
Based on, all of these quality of life things.
Yeah. And maybe you just do biblical eating and take peptides and you'll get there, right? Like all of these things can combine.
All of these things can combine. You were so lovely and vulnerable and sharing something personal. And I'm going to do the same. I have had a friend, like Facetune edit, like photo, like edit my arm to be smaller in a photo as if it was a service to me.
Wow.
Like, you're welcome for making your arm look smart
without
asking.
Yep. Anything like that.
Yeah. So like even things that you don't feel like are your own, like they can, the diet culture goes from anywhere. Yeah.
And that's the thing is that diet culture is so internalized for all of us, even us clinicians and all that who have already done the work, like because it's still in there that like those things can happen and it can feel like it's not a big deal.
Right. She thought that was like a nice thing to do. Yeah. Right. Because that's internal, yeah.
Diet culture.
Running rampant.
Man, oh man.
Yes.
My goodness.
I don't know how to talk about body surveillance being profitable. I mean, like TMZ and shit. Like, I mean, we're looking at pictures.
Yeah. I mean, looking at pictures. Well, I guess for me, it ties back into that capitalism, right? If we see the pictures of what we're supposed to look like, then we will buy into the things that will help us achieve that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
there's a how-to guide, right? It
There's a how-to.
exists everywhere.
It's perfect. And if we're so worried about what our bodies look like and we're trying to get it to look a certain way, then we're not going to be paying attention to other things.
Yeah.
Going on in this
It's
dumpster fire of a world.
at what cost? Yeah. It's
Exactly.
like this is top priority. All
Mhm.
the other things that it's easier to turn a blind eye to the things that may be like, to be not health promoting or
Exactly.
sustainable or, all those things that we kind of
Exactly.
talk about with clients.
Exactly. And if it starts out potentially outside of an eating disorder, that weight loss becomes the most important thing. It becomes that in an eating disorder.
Yeah.
Like working with clients where it's like they are very concerned about weight loss and their body looking a certain way, but like some basic needs might not be being met.
Yeah.
Right. Like particularly eating food, basic need, right? Some of those other things that could really go a long way in helping them feel differently, they're not able to do it because the focus is so much on losing weight.
Yeah.
And so, my goodness gracious.
Yeah, that's quite the trajectory.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there anything we want to keep from Toned Arms? Big quotes.
I am going to try to pull and do a reframe here. I will say building muscle.
Yeah.
We love that. Hopefully, along with that means that you're moving your body in a way that feels really good to you. Maybe instead of aiming for toned arms, you're aiming for I want my arms to be super strong so that I can do a push up or lift something off the ground or pick my grocery bags up.
Yeah, move all this shit in my
You know,
closet.
exactly.
Yeah, put my hair in a bun for more than 30 seconds without losing.
Dry my hair. Like
Yeah,
all these
functional
things.
life things.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah. Anything you want to keep. And if not, what are you tossing out?
Man, I think that you hit all the nails on the heads. I would keep all those same things. I like the idea of functional fitness, right? How not just like what is my body going to look like as a result of this movement, but is it going to actually serve a purpose that no one can see, right?
Correct.
Because it always goes back to that intention of what is the goal here?
Yes, 100%.
So I would keep the same things as you. I would definitely, toss celebrating emaciation. And I think to your point, like of how the internet reacted to this, I think we're getting somewhere
I think we're getting
in some cases, right? Like,
yeah.
So I think tossing in the trash, like worshiping thinness, or again, just that smaller bodies are better bodies and healthier bodies, and normalizing it is what I really would like to kick over into the trash.
Can we just not, please?
Because the more clients see it, the more people that even maybe don't have issues see it. It's gonna feel like this is the norm, and why do I not look like this? How do I?
Correct. Yeah. What dumpster rating are we giving this?
I'm giving this 4 because I want to hold space for the strength piece. I do think that there are some positives there. However, headline wise, like this gets 5 dumpsters, like, as a very niche topic that we are talking about today.
Right.
I would give it a 5.
I love that. Yeah. Maybe I'll go in the middle because I like what you said about holding space for it, but also it being like, what the heck? Maybe I'll do a 4.5.
Yeah.
4.5.
I guess another point, we have no idea what Demi Moore is doing. We don't know if she is engaging in, positive strength training or disordered eating or anything. And so we're literally, even us, we're just assuming movement from the way that she looks.
Correct.
So like in a 4 doing that, I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's loaded and layered.
And it ties into the point that you said earlier is that we can't tell the health of someone by looking at their body, right? And so it very well could be that women who are looking emaciated might be ill. We don't know. We could be glorifying sickness. We do not know. But it's not holding space for the full range and variety of body sizes and shapes and all of that. So
I wonder if there's a peptide that she could take that could just
There's
she's
a
just
lot of websites out
dehydrated. She
there.
just doesn't have
That's
right
right.
fluids. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Goodness gracious. Okay.
Right.
We did 3. That's a wrap.
We did 3. That is, I think we've said all that's need to be said. We'd love to hear from you guys about what dumpster fires are out there. I feel like we are both pretty chronically online, but that doesn't mean all of our algorithms are the same, and the things that you guys encounter that you want us to deep dive on, we're happy to do so. So stay up with our socials because we will continue to put some monthly polls up and see what you guys are interested in.
Definitely. And in the comments here, as you're watching this, maybe give us your dumpster fire rating for 1, 2, or 3 of these and any of your thoughts. I mean, like, obviously we're chit-chatting and we love to do it, but like part of the reason why we're doing this series is because we want to hear from you and hear your thoughts as well. So yeah, definitely type in the comments your thoughts and your ratings as well too. So
Hey, thank you guys
Hey.
for joining our first Diet Culture Dumpster Fire Substack
Yeah,
series. It's a mouthful.
it is.
We will do one of these a month. So we will see you back in July.
In July. See you guys.
Hey!
That was so good. I feel like I barely have to do any editing of that.